Howdy everyone, it's Sam. Welcome back to the Wobblin Sports channel. If you're new around here, I hope I can get you to consider liking the content and subscribing to the channel. And if you are a regular around these here parts, thank you very much for the continuous support. Round 3 of the 2023 NRL season is done and dusted. Let's talk about some of the things that happened over the weekend or so. First of all, just want to say hello to Mr. Jimmy Miller. He's keen for it. Thank goodness someone is. Thank you very much for tuning in. Jason Reeder, he's in the house again. Jack O'Hare, thank you very much for your time again. Tiger Walker, thank you too. Jimmy Miller, he's keen for Titans versus North Queensland. It could be quite the cracking contest, actually, Mr. Miller. I am looking forward to it. And if you don't know, not you, Jimmy Miller, but if you don't know already and you're watching this, I'm doing a live stream with BKR Sport in the next 24, 48 hours or so to preview that match live. Let's have a look at the Dally M ladder board. And we have a brand new leader. And it blows my mind, even though I know he's having quite the strong season. But we got a winger. We got a winger up on top of the Dally M leaderboard with Jacob Carraz clocking in 11 points after 3 rounds. Payne Haas, Big Tino Fa'asuamala Awi equals second on 9. And then Adam Reynolds and then Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow and Tom Gilbert, former ex-Cowboys players, equal third with Adam Reynolds on 8 points. And then there's just an absolute traffic jam of players that are on 7 points below. But Jacob Carraz, bro, my word, didn't he impress in the World Cup? He impressed throughout stages last year, and he's kicking all sorts of ass in 2023, is he not? Flash Green is in the house. Thank you very much, man. Jimmy Miller, you've seen that on Instagram. Very keen for the video. Thank you very much, man. I really, really do sincerely appreciate it. So that's what the Dally M leaderboard looks like. But who is my team of the week? Who are the players that make my team of the week? Well, unquestionably, Jacob Carraz is going to be one of those players. He ran for over 200 meters, tackled his ass off, and was involved in a hell of a lot of stuff that didn't actually involve any, if not most of, the Bulldogs' try-scoring situations in that game yesterday against the Bulldogs. Jackson Polo is my other winger, and then Big Tom Trbojevic is the fullback in my team of the week after round 3 of the 2023 season. The centers in my team of the week, Katoni Staggs and Matt Timoko. If Timoko didn't play that game yesterday against Cronulla, the Sharks win, in my opinion. And Staggs, he is warming up very nicely towards State of Origin, is he not? My halves pairing for round 3, Adam Reynolds was exceptional against St. George Illawarra, and Josh Schuster, he's got a lot of pressure on himself this year, but boy howdy, he is after that performance, he reminded everybody how talented of a player he really is. My front rowers, I think Jake Trbojevic was very underrated on the weekend against the Parramatta Eels. I thought he was very, very strong. Payne Haas as well was, again, he's just about the best prop in the game right now. And Harry Grant, he had the Melbourne Storm loss, but I think Harry Grant in a dummy half had the best performance of anybody in the hooking position, and he was one of those players that just didn't stop trying throughout the entire contest. The back row for my team of the week, Tom Gilbert. If you guys watched that Dolphins Knights game on Friday night and paid close attention to Tom Gilbert was absolutely enormous for the Dolphins on Friday night. Britain Nakora is still keeping on going with a consistent season in my team of the week, and Homale Olakawatu makes his debut in my team of the week series so far in 2023. He was a monster against the Parramatta Eels. And then my interchange bench. Well, I've had nightmares since Saturday night over these two blokes that you see on the left there. Dylan Walker and Jazz Tavanga came on and absolutely went full split on the North Queensland Cowboys on Saturday afternoon. Corey Horsburgh arguably had his best game in first grade, going over for his first double, a try-scoring double in the NRL. And Thomas Flegler, he's also somebody that I'm starting to get a sense that he's warming up very, very nicely coming in towards State of Origin time. I'm just going to very quickly go back into the comments section. Thank you very much for being quite active here this evening. Thank you very much. So we got Faraz Alam in the house. Thank you. first time to Belmore, yes. Was a privilege to be at Belmore. Oh, well done, mate. Oh, yeah, no, good time that you had a good weekend, man. Faraz also says Karaz is a run meter eating machine. He's absolutely hot to trot this year. Karaz honestly deserves to be top of the leaderboard, in my opinion, Jimmy says. I have him on my Supercoach team, and I bet he's absolutely killing it for you. I bet you're bloody happy you got him. We've got Flash Green. My team of the week are the entire Raiders outfit. Oh, strike me pink. There you go. Let's see what Fraz here. I'd have Manu over Stags, in my opinion. Fair enough. That's your opinion. Let's see. Anything else, Reynolds and SJ, the only two good halves. I agree this week. Sean Johnson, you'd have Sean Johnson in there, would you? And Jack O'Hare is saying Sean Johnson has shut the idiots who wanted him dropped. I agree with that. I've looked at some of the stats today, man, and he's leading a few categories in the NRL stats in 2023, man. Yes, indeed. What a weekend. And Walker and Jazz exceptional off the bench. They certainly were, man. For Raz, I'd have Jensen over Flegler, but that's controversial. But Flegler was unreal, but some silly areas. Yes, but I just thought his presence, he was just an absolute angry bloody monster. So also we've got Gar Joyle. Hello, Gar Joyle. That game made up for the last 5 years. Oh, strike me pink. Jason Reader, what did I think of the Roosters versus Rabbits game on Friday night? Well, thank you very much for asking. I was going to do a Q&A at the back end of the stream, everybody. But since you've asked, look, man, it was. I don't think it's a classic. The Roosters certainly deserved the victory. I just think the halves pairing for South Sydney really let down the Rabbitohs on Friday night, particularly Cody Walker. Ilias was a little bit quiet too, but I think Roosters overall definitely deserved the victory. No ifs, buts, or maybe. Flash Green, if the Warriors play like that every single week, bro, if they play like that every single week, they're going to be playing finals football. Absolutely, undoubtedly. So I've just gone through my team of the week. I've showed you who the Dally M or what the Dally M leaderboard looks like as well. So I'm going to go into me after Webster can coach. Shako Hire says, yes, he bloody well can. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to go into my power rankings list for round 3. And I don't think it's any surprise that this team, who was 17th last week, are 17th again this week. But there was a powerful 5 minutes or so from the Tigers, or Brandon Wakeham more specifically, that really got them into fourth gear and made it a thriller for the final 5 or so minutes there, the West Tigers. But I can't put them, I can't have them higher than the wooden spoon position at the moment. The Newcastle Knights, they're still depleted by injury. They had a better account of themselves, which is why I've got them up above the West Tigers, but I just don't have many strong answers to make a case for the Newcastle Knights these days. So Newcastle Knights, they dropped down 1 spot. The St. George Illawarra Dragons dropped down 1 spot as well, but that could be viewed as controversial because they were in that game for 70 minutes. But that final 10 minutes, man, I don't know if it was the Phantom Siren hooter. I don't know what happened in that final 10 minutes, man, but they absolutely clocked off dreadfully. And that's the sort of form they showed in the Charity Shield against South Sydney Rabbitohs. That's the sort of form we're all fearing will be the case for most of the season for the St. George Illawarra Dragons, which is disappointing because they had a decent showing against the Gold Coast Titans the week before and against the Broncos. This might be the biggest mover of the power rankings list this weekend. Parramatta Eels, they are winless. Yes, they are above teams that do have victories already, but I am still factoring in that Sean Lane, Ryan Mattison are due to come back as well. They're still working out their backline too. There's a lot more promise in the Parramatta Eels, but at the moment, they are winless and they are leaking points at an alarming rate, unfortunately. So I got the Parramatta Eels dropping as low as 14th on my power rankings list this weekend. In at number 13, the Melbourne Storm. Boy, howdy. They're going to be without Jerome Hughes next weekend. Really unsure if Cameron Munster is going to make his return next week in round number 4. But this Melbourne Storm outfit are playing like absolute bastards at the moment, bro. Yeah, and the only reason why I've got them over the Parramatta Eels at the moment is because they beat them way back in round one just quietly, and you just get the sense that when Nelson comes back in and when they become full strength again, you just know they're going to go on some sort of power surge towards the back end of the year. But at this point in time, they're one of the ugliest teams to watch, and that's astonishing to say, really. Unfortunately, North Queensland Cowboys are down in 12th position after they were 9th last weekend. Yeah, we'll get into the Cowboys in a little bit when I do a match review, match reaction. Going into number 11th now, I've got the Canberra Raiders. They have been tough over the opening few weeks, and they had to remain tough against the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks. They still did it without Josh Papali'i. They did it a man down against Danny Levi, and I'd take defense over attack at the moment, and the Cowboys don't have the attack in comparison to the Canberra Raiders at the moment, which is why I've got the Raiders over the Cowboys currently. The Canterbury Bankstown Bulldogs are 10th on my power rankings this weekend. A very hot start against a very slow starting West Tigers outfit, and they're like the Dragons where they shut up shop with about 15, 20 minutes to go, and they're danger signs. They're danger signs for Bulldogs. So again, it's great that they can play really exciting footy, but this Bulldogs defense was the main question on everybody's lips and minds for throughout most of the offseason. And defensively, in that period there against the Tigers of all clubs that couldn't tie their shoelaces. I'm sorry, Tiger Walker. Yeah, that was a little bit concerning there. But they do improve one spot, whereas the Gold Coast Titans, controversially to some, they dropped down one, even though they defeated the Melbourne Storm in a really, really ugly game of rugby league. But they did cop the win. I'm only dropping them down one spot because the next team were absolutely sensational. The Warriors played better than the Gold Coast Titans. They've defended better, and they were 13th last week. They've shot up into 8th on my power rankings list after round 3. It's, oh man, you saw the Cowboys do what they did from 2021 to 2022 from second last position. Look what the Warriors are doing. Oh man. Going into the next position now, and this is another one that will be a little bit controversial as well, is the Redcliffe Dolphins. There is a club that I'm going to get to in the next few slots that I think jumped above the Dolphins and I think has a little bit more promise than the Dolphins. But they got the win on Friday night, the boys from Redcliffe. And defensively, though, a team like Newcastle Knights, the team they put out on Friday night, they scored, what was it, 18, 20 points or so? A little concerning. I agree with Wayne Bennett. He said that this was the weakest performance of the regular season so far, and I have to agree, but they still scored bloody 36 points. As a matter of fact, though, the Dolphins, I believe, have the most tries of any club in the National Rugby League at the moment. Going into sixth position now, I had to drop down the Cronulla Sutherland Sharks from 5th down to 6th. They're missing Nico Hines, but I'm fearing, I don't know, there's just a little seed of doubt in me that is fearing that even when Nico Hines does come back, he's going to need a week or two to knock off the ring rust. And I fear that maybe Hines may not be the entire answer, but they're still in my top 6. They're still going to be a premiership force, in my opinion. But just at the moment, they're just playing a little bit ill-disciplined for my liking. Going into 5th position now, South Sydney, man. Can I just say, and I'm going to show myself here, can I say, right, Latrell Mitchell, I know you're watching. We texted each other a couple of minutes ago, right? Latrell Mitchell, bro, you got to put that goal line dropout, that short goal line dropout into the fire. Seriously, I reckon that's about the 12th short goal line dropout you've tried to execute since week 1 of the finals, and you've come up duck egg, absolute duck egg. But that's It should be, but it's not the reason why I'm putting them down into fifth position. But seriously, that needs to go into the friggin' fire. South Sydney, man, they went down to the Roosters after getting into the lead. They looked really good, bro. But just the inclusion of JWH and Brandon Smith, just yeah, got me a little bit frightened of this team again, the Sydney Roosters. I'm pumping them up from seventh position to fourth. The reason is JWH, Brandon Smith, Victor Radley, they were all back for the Roosters and they beat a very good South Sydney Rabbitohs outfit. We've been saying for the opening month of the season now that the Rabbitohs are the real deal, and the Roosters, while it's taken them a couple of weeks and they're notorious slow starters, they got the Rabbitohs in the end, didn't they? In an absolute thriller. Going into third position now, I've got the Manly Ringer Seagulls. Some people might think, oh, but there's one other club that had a bye this past weekend. We should surely be up above them. But look, all credit to Manly. I don't know what the hell Anthony Seibold learned in his time away from the game, but what he's done and what Manly are doing, they're another sort of Cowboys 2021, 2022 storyline. They're a fascinating watch, and they're taking on the South Sydney Rabbitohs this weekend. And in my mind, that is the game of the round for round 4. Even though the Dolphins and Broncos is pretty massive as well. Going into the second position now, I've got the Penrith Panthers. That they're on the bye. They're recuperating, I guess, even though they only played 2 games, and they've got the grand final rematch this Thursday night. It's an absolute blockbuster of a round 4 weekend. And then, in my opinion, no change from last weekend. While it looked shaky for 65 odd minutes there on Saturday night, the Brisbane Broncos are still the most in form team of the competition. And if you go onto NRL.com, I should have shown you I had that ready, but if you go to NRL.com and view up the stats, the Broncos running meters, the forward pack, they're absolutely destroying it. This team in 2023, they're mean. They're really, really mean this year, boys and girls. So I'm just going to go into the chat again and see if there's any questions or any reactions to my power rankings list. Tiger somehow nearly came back. They certainly did. It's still early days. Flash Green says, Jacko Hero says, Dragons will fade over the season. Storm are a rabble, Faraz says, and more injuries and Bellamy is under the pump. And we don't know if he's going to play his last year or coach his last year. Will it be Bellyache's worst season as an NRL coach? It's not looking good right now. For Raz, 12th for Cowboys is fair once again. Second half syndromes. We're going to get to it in just a minute. Is there any other questions? I'm just going to go through. Flash Green, they certainly did. Flash Green, Titans leaked way too many points. Dolphins will struggle, Jacko Hero says, as the season grinds, but it's a great start. It certainly is, man. Jacko Hero also says, JWH and Cheese, Chucky's relying on Kiwis again. That's fair. That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Got Steelers Nation in the house. Go Manly, he says. Thank you very much, mate. You'd be bloody proud of them, bro. Absolutely. Flash Green also agrees with me. The short drop-off is costing them, especially if they don't get the ball back. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the Roosters have the bye this weekend. I don't know what I might have said to prompt that. But anyway, that's all good. Manly having an assistant coach in Shane Flanagan, which is great. Panthers Eels, Faraz says, will be an absolute cracker. Flash Green, Broncos Raiders grand final. Well, one of those is a good spot. Payne Haas is so deadly for Raz Alarm says if he develops consistent offloading. That's fair, definitely fair. I would actually like to see, that's a great point. I would actually like to see him do some more offloading. We got Tiger Walker who says Tigers to beat the Storm. Oh, gee whiz, you'd be a rich man. Oh, g'day enemy. G'day frenemy. How you going, mate? Yeah, look, you can come up, right? We'll roll up the red carpet to your ultimate destruction in the end. That's all right. I know you're coming. I've got everything all prepared. You're going to have an absolutely wonderful evening that night, BKR. BKR, thank you so much for your time. Just for tuning in to little old me, mate. Thank you very much. Warriors Cinema Fanatics. Hey man, how you going? Dude, looking forward to the week. By the way, F you. That's right. All Warriors fans, hey, F you. Titans, Faraz Titans attacking wise are so fun to watch. Yeah, but I don't know if that's going to work against the likes of a Brisbane Broncos or a Penrith Panthers outfit for too long, man. Jack Herrier, all smiles, bro. All smiles. Righto. Yes, all in good fun. It's all in good fun. So, Faraz Alam asks, what is the game of the season so far from the first 3 weeks? Manly and Para was pretty fun. Manly versus Para on Thursday night was pretty fun. Parramatta versus Cronulla was also pretty good. One of those 2 games, I need to. That's a question without notice that requires a bit of research, young man. But at the moment, Manly and Para was pretty bloody fun on Thursday night. Flash Green, never say never about the Warriors. They do look good this year, man. We got Nathan Moore in the house. Hey, man, how you going? Derek will be going absolutely mental by the end of Friday night. Well, if they do the good on Friday night. Jack O'Hare says, watch Sam and HTB live commentary after the game. It was great fun. I really appreciate that. And look forward to the return game in about 3 weeks' time. And look, I'm just going to respectfully, I'm going to drop off the live chat because I do just want to just do my just quick reaction and review to the Cowboys' loss against the New Zealand Warriors on Saturday afternoon. Buggy is. Cowboys, they looked really good again in the first half to start things off. They've been fast starters, and then they're fading off dramatically. They certainly missed Scott Drinkwater, didn't they? Chad Townsend was putting in some really weird kicks and chip kicks over the top that just wasn't ever going to be on. And this New Zealand Warriors outfit, as I said, and as Jack O'Hare alluded to, when I did the Hold the Ball live stream watch along with him on my channel the other day, this Warriors defense, bro, weren't going to fall for any sort of bullshit. And the Warriors were so fast moving. They were so angry themselves, bro. And I think they do. I think they have the 3rd best defense in the NRL at the moment, which, you know, they were the worst last year. And again, it's another flip of reversal like the Cowboys did. So kudos to the Warriors. Look, some of the players that I thought really stood out, Tom Chester, I've been sort of pumping up his tires. A lot of Cowboys fans and members have been pumping up Tom Chester's tires, and I don't think he let himself down. I don't think he let anybody down over the weekend. And there are certain people in the media and even just, you know, rugby league average Joes and Janes that have said that why don't we get Valentine Holmes back into the fullback role? You know, you signed him up for X amount of dollars. Put Valentine Holmes back into the fullback role. Well, the thing is there, in my opinion, even if I wasn't a Cowboys supporter, he's just learnt the trick of the trade at centre. And while it doesn't leave you all at once automatically, to go back to the fullback position after being the best centre of 2022 and being one of Cowboys' best players so far in 2023, I don't know. I think I'd rather have a young man be blooded who has been playing fullback in Queensland Cup, has been doing a really good job in Queensland Cup as well. So Tom Chester, I think he deserves another shot at the fullback position and until Scott Drinkwater comes back in. And then Guillermo Shibasaki, who filled in for Pete Hiku, while he ran for about 190 to 200 meters, look, he gave away penalties and dropped some ball as well, bro. So I don't know if he will be given another opportunity. I would tend to suggest that he will, and I'm fine with it. You know, it's his first big game in a year or more sort of thing. So I'm happy to be chilled about it. I saw some good things. I saw some bad things, but I was expecting that sort of effort. Highland Lukey had his first game after returning from a ruptured ACL. Dude, He didn't run for all that many meters because he obviously came off the bench. But for a first stint in a year, he looks pretty fit, bro. I think Kylan Lukey looks really, really fit. And then the interchange bench. This is the one point of negativity and conjecture that I'm really going to start storming home about. Look, bro, I don't know why. I don't know. I really don't know why. But this Taniela Seydrugu, maybe I just need to stop it. But I would love to have him come in instead of Jermaine Tanua-Brown. Jermaine Tanua-Brown does get through the work. He cops the hits. He gives out the hits as well. The issue that I've got with Jermaine Tanua-Brown is that as soon as the defensive line touch him, as soon as he is touched, there is very little post-contact meter advantages into Jermaine Tanua-Brown's game. And there's also no offloading in Jermaine Tanua-Brown as well. I think there needs to be a change on the bench. It's what's sort of been kicking us in the backside beside our second halves for 2023 so far. Just we're not getting enough impact from our forwards, unfortunately. And we were dubbed as arguably the best forward pack coming into this season. So it is a cog disappointing. So with all due respect, like Jermaine Tanua-Brown, if he's picked again next weekend, fine. I'm absolutely going to support you. But I'm at the stage now where I want to see Taniela Seydrugu, the Fijian international, come in, because in the performance we saw of him against the Dolphins in that trial game a few weeks ago, a month ago now or so, Taniela Seydrugu was one of the top 3 players in that game. Yeah, it's just a trial, but Seydrugu really, really impressed. And I don't know why he hasn't been given an opportunity for. I really don't, and I would love to see him make his first grade debut next week, because I think he can offload. I think he can. Well, I know he can offload. I just think he has it in him to be a difference. And we're going to need some firepower. We're going to need some mongrel this weekend against the Gold Coast Titans. And also, yes, Jeremiah Nanai. 4 or 6 runs, 6 runs for 40 meters. And that's pretty much by and large for the opening 3 weeks of the season. And it dawned upon me, it was revealed to me that he had signed a $3.6 million deal over 4 years for a second rower, kind of like a David Fafita. I don't think I'd be able to take that just quietly. No disrespect to David Fafita. Well, no disrespect to David Fafita. I just, Jeremiah Nanai, he's on a lot of coin. He kicked ass in Origin. He kicked ass in the World Cup. Kick ass for the Cowboys in 2023, would you? I know you've scored a couple of tries, but those numbers, bro, those numbers, holy crap. So, look, I understand that Scott Drinkwater, Peter Hiku, and please, everybody else understand, Drinkwater, Hiku, Leilua, they're out for the next little while. Hylam Lukey and James Tarmo still trying to fit in as well. This side are going to come good. This side will come good. They should come good. But that Warriors, oh my God, that Warriors defense on the weekend was chef's kiss, bro. Congratulations, New Zealand Warriors fans, because fair dinkum. I'd be excited if I was a Warriors fan. Shades of Cowboys, man, the year before. Shades of Cowboys, bro. Just want to go into the chat now. So, look, ultimately, I am disappointed naturally with the loss. But if the same 17 run out again, I do believe that they can get the job done against the Titans. But if I was the coach, I would pluck one out and put one in. And don't know about Shibasaki. I think I would give him another crack, because I did see some good things there, but just need to hold on to the bloody ball, mate. But that's all good. So just going into the chat now one more time. So we got Flash Green. He's got the Raiders power rankings. Bronx number 2, 3 Eels. What? Cowboys 6. Is that your top 8? Oh, sorry. That's your top 8. Oh, sorry, bro. So you got the Raiders as minor premiers. Well, they started winning, didn't they? Titans and Dogs. Well, there you bloody go. Fair game. That'd be a Cowboys Titans in week 1 of the finals. There you go, bro. Alrighty, so we got Luke Brooks. Tiger Walker says Luke Brooks has been our best, and all I see is people saying Brooks has to go. Or I respectfully disagree with that, bro. He was good when Brandon Wakem came onto the field. Look, your opinion, but just my opinion, mate, is that Luke Brooks has not been the best in 2023 again. Flash Green says, I was really disappointed with the Cowboys. Congratulations to the Warriors. Yeah. Pompey running over Holmes to set up Cossie try was unbelievable. Yeah, look, Valentine Holmes was certainly, yeah, he was good, but boy, howdy, he got the power of Pompey that put him flat on his backside. Jacko Hero says, Tanoa Brown is a good reserve grader who can fill in for injuries, etc. He cruises along too much, which is why the Warriors punted him. Ooh, harsh, but fair, I think. Sujay Moxley's in the house. Hey, man, how you going? Thank you very much. We've got Jacko Hero. Nano reads too much of the press pumping him up. Ooh, don't know. We've got Will in the house as well. Now up the Broncos, he says. Oh, God. And Flash Green media hypes the game too much when we know who's strong and dominant. Like the Canberra Raiders, I assume that you're talking about there. Look, there's other pieces of news. Look, it wasn't a rather newsworthy round of footy. Like we had the Felice Kofusi incident, we had another forward pass, or we had another obstruction, or just another referee penalty or error howler over the weekend, and that's something, it just happens. That's just rugby league. They're human, they can make mistakes. But there is one thing that I do need to get off my chest. And as a Cowboys supporter, when I got sent this about 24, 48 hours ago, I felt sick and my heart fell into my foot, because the wife of Kyle Felt, over maybe not even just this weekend, maybe over the course of months or maybe years, has come out and said that she's been receiving messages urging her to have her husband kill himself, tell him to kill himself. And this is off the back of Ronaldo Mulatalo, who came out himself only the other day and said, I've copped messages too. This is what I've copped. And he revealed a few of those messages. And Aaron Molan, who's been on the front foot with this sort of trolling, epidemic sort of thing, she's been on the front foot and said, yeah, I've got you. And look, I think the best thing to do for rugby league players moving forward now is to immediately come out and say, yes, I've been done. I'd love for everybody in the NRL who's, well, maybe not, because I think we'd be there all bloody day, but I'd like for rugby league players, NRL players, to come out straight away with it, even take a screenshot, and show these people. That's my way of thinking. Maybe it could be detrimental. Maybe it could be more harmful if they do reveal the identities of these players or these people that are trolling them and saying these awful, violent things. But I think, in my opinion, you expose the profile, and it just, while it may promote more hate, while it might generate more hate, at least the people know who to look out for and who to just instantly block. But then again, you're probably just creating another fight elsewhere. It's just branching out into something potentially more ugly, and then it might even come back onto you. So it is a tricky situation. It's just, look, call me biased. I don't care. I think the North Queensland Cowboys have the best community culture in the National Rugby League. The work they do from top to bottom, west, east of North Queensland, I think they have the best community culture in the National Rugby League, bar none. And this one person, or these half a dozen people that are spamming poor Kyle Felt's wife about all this horrific stuff. They are not. They're not even Cowboys fans. They're not Cowboy supporters. They're not even rugby league fans. And by and large, they're probably just 15-year-old gits. They're probably 15-year-old twits that are having a laugh. Well, it's not funny, bro. We saw a young man racially vilify Latrell Mitchell, and I think the chances are that we've got young men making contact with players' wives or players directly, thinking it's a joke, and it obviously it just simply is not. So, look, I obviously don't represent North Queensland, but as a Cowboy supporter, I'd like to say, I am so sorry to not just Kyle Felt, primarily Kyle Felt in this instance, the premiership winning hero for the North Queensland Cowboys that can do no bloody wrong in my eyes. Plus, he can also make up a mean barbecue recipe, by the way, just quietly. Just to anybody, any rugby league player out there, man, I don't know. I would take a screenshot and say, good on you, mate. I'd say I'd take a screenshot of it and say, Freddie or Larry said this about me, said this about my wife, or whoever. Block them, and I'll block them. They're pack of dickheads. So yeah, I was very disappointed to see that happen, because I don't think I've seen Cowboys in that sort of scenario situation in a couple of years. I don't recall the last time the Cowboys had a drama like this. It's not. It is a drama, but it's not a massive NRL 360 drama that. But then again, it should be spotlighted. I hope I'm making sense. I feel like I'm starting to dribble or wobble my jaw just a little bit here. So I'll just go into the comment section again. We got Flash Green. The year belongs to the Broncos, yo, bro. And Flash has got Sam speechless. Oh, dude, that top 8 absolutely blew my mind. I thought it was a power rankings list for a second. Ended up being his top 8. We've got Will. What don't you like? The Broncos, Sam. Turn it up. Turn it up here, bro. My brother accidentally snapped my Tigers flag. Well, bro, your brother needs to go get you another one. He needs to give you some PayPal money, bro. Flash to Tago is. I've never seen your account here before. Thank you very much for giving me a crack, mate. Yeah. Oh no. Jakahire. Geez, death threats. What idiots on social media? It defies belief. It is. And there's another argument that branches out that you can argue, the parents, what are they doing? Well, it might not actually be the parents of the kids. It could be the people the kid is hanging out with, and it's that sort of toxic environment that they're so young that they don't really know to get or how to get out of it without hurting somebody else's feelings. Or it could be big fat bastard Frank, who's about a 45-year-old sitting at his computer being an absolute toss bag, an absolute wanker, being an absolute snidey, slimy, you know what. So it could be that. It very well might be that as well. But I'm willing to go on the young side. But if it's big, fat Frank sending out these awful messages as a Cowboys fan, fuck off. Excuse my language. But yes, that goes for big, fat Frank or big, fat Felicity. Jacko Hire, you may change that after Wise Belt Dogs on Sunday, Tago. Yeah, dude. Also up the Panthers. Oh, he's got multiple. He's got multiple. Will says they'd have to be kids or kids' brains making those comments, or just half-wits. You need to ignore it. You do have to ignore. You do have to let it bounce off your chest, but just these athletes, these rugby league players, put in the hard yards, and they put in their best every single weekend, and then for somebody to, it's not just about them. Like, I think they can most of the time cop it. You know, I think rugby league players who end up copping abuse, they can cop it, but it's the fact that they've profile stalked their loved ones and are harassing their loved ones. That is what I would suggest. I don't mean to put words in his mouth. I'd say that's what Kyle felt is actually most infuriated, upset about, is that these half-wits are finding her profile or whoever and making her day miserable when it's not about her. If you want to attack him, you send shit to him. Don't get his family, don't get anybody else's family involved in it. Just be a decent human being. And if you got nothing nice to say, or if you got something constructive to say, you are free to say it. If you say it in a nice manner, if it's constructive criticism. But if you're just going to be an F-wit, Flash Green, haters are nothing more than clowns. Nobody got time for trolls. Absolutely not. Jacko Hire, haters love to hate, so I guess there is no stopping them. Yes, unfortunately so. Robert M is in the house. Hey, man, how you going? Hey, Sam, with the game coming up Friday night, who would you like to see win? And rest in peace, John Sattler. Yes, look, sorry, I know there's a few Broncos fans in the house right now, but I would like to see the Dolphins win. But this Brisbane Broncos outfit has been the most impressive of the season so far. So, yes, I would like to see the Dolphins win. That's not my tip, but I would like to see the Dolphins win. Did I see the AFL, Tiger Walker? Well, in fear of absolutely mowing out 3/4 of my audience that I've got right now, I did see the weekend of AFL action. It's a shit that Fremantle didn't win against a 3/4 half-strength St Kilda outfit, but I won't talk about AFL now because this has been predominantly rugby league and I don't want to lose the bloody audience, so I'll move on, but thank you for asking. Flash to Tago, I'm going to the Battle of Brisbane, Broncos and Dolphins. Well done, mate. It's absolute sellout as well, bro. I tried to get tickets. I was thinking about getting tickets on three nights ago. Next day, after not getting them, gone. Absolutely snapped up, and that was after the Dolphins won. So, yes, absolutely. Jacko Hero. Hope Dolphins win Tago, but I fear they are in for a bad loss. You might have spoken on behalf of me just then, mate. Nicholas McCurcher, hey, man, how you going? Thank you for dropping on by. Thank you very much for being such a graceful Cowboys fan after the Warriors win on Saturday, legend. Dude, it's okay because thank you, first of all, and it's okay. It's just a game. If it was a preliminary final, I might have called hold the ball, drop the ball. You know, I might have called him something nasty or something like that. Kafusi may not be out, Jacko Hero. Jacko Hero says Kafusi is a huge out for the game, but he is contesting the charge. And I understand that if he is successful in downgrading his charge, he will be free to play on Friday night. So watch this space. He is not out. Kafusi is not out just yet. If he is successful in downgrading his charge, he will be free to play on Friday night. We got rugby league history in the house. Hey, man. Wobble and jaw, wobble and jaw, wobble and jaw. Ole, bro. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The people that attacked Felt's wife need to apologize. Yeah, I absolutely. I don't care if they're named. I don't. Well, if they're obviously under the age of 16 or thereabouts, obviously they can't have their identity revealed. But if you're Fat Frank or Fat Felicity sitting behind a computer desk at age 40, sending anybody's wife or husband death threats or urging, the husband or wife to kill each other or whatever, you need to go roll off a cliff. Nathan Moore, I mean, it could be worse. Brisbane Lions getting its pants pulled by Port Adelaide. That was embarrassing. That was embarrassing. Got the literal last ticket for the game. Flash to Tago. Yo, dude. Yo, absolutely. Guys, if you have any more questions, drop them by quickly as well. But look, just to go on what we all saw, or what I made sure that everybody saw primarily at the start of this live stream. Yeah, John Sattler, unfortunately, through a battle of dementia, lost his battle with it, and he passed away today. He 2008 Hall of Fame inductee, played 4 tests for Australia, but played 16 matches for him. 4-time premiership winning captain for South Sydney, 197 matches played for the Rabbits, and we all know his story about the 1970 grand final where he played on with a broken jaw. So yeah, it is a sad day for rugby league. Just growing up, when I was 14, 15 years old, one of the most constant names, like I don't know, like you don't ever hear, in my opinion, or in my cases anyway, that you don't ever hear the likes of what an Andrew Eddinghausen did for Cronulla Sharks. Like, and I know due to research and just loving the game as much as I have for decades now, but it's sort of like I didn't hear about Andrew Eddinghausen, but he was more of my era sort of thing. But I didn't hear a lot about him. But then John Sattler, I've known about his name and his story for as far back as I can remember. Like, that's how much John Sattler means to rugby league and how much rugby league meant to the Sattler family, to John Sattler. That story about the 1970 grand final, man, is one of the first stories in rugby league I freaking heard. One of the first true stories that really sunk in deep. And it's different for everyone. I understand that. But honestly, there have been players from the 90s, early 2000s that have had great careers. And they don't get spoken about nearly as much as what John Sattler has been talked about in my personal experience. So it's been a really, it was revealed late this afternoon as well. I think about 4:00, 3:00 this afternoon. So no, condolences and thoughts, prayers to the Sattler family and anybody else, everybody else that had an affiliation with him. So no, it is a sad day for rugby league indeed. I'll just go back into the chat again. We got Nicholas McKercher. The West versus Canterbury match was amazing, especially because of how many long-range tries that were scored. Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, there were a few long-range tries in that game, man. What was it? It was like 3 tries in 4 minutes or 5 minutes or something like that. Flash Green says only team he supports is Lions, Tigers, and Suns. Just the only AFL team I support: Lion, Tigers, Suns. Just a cheeky 3 in there as well. Yes, sir, Robert M. Yes, sir. Yes, he was. We've got Jacko here. I can't get the AFL. Crazy game for a Kiwi to watch. Excuse me. I think there was a match over in New Zealand as well. Wobblin Jaw. Wobblin is by far the greatest YouTube channel the world's ever seen. Thank you, man. Thank you, dude. Will, absolute legend. Thoughts and prayers with Scott Sattler's family. Absolutely, bro. Flash Tago. Yeah, please don't speak about the Brisbane Lions game. It was embarrassing. How much is Sam paying? Rugby league history. A couple of bucks. Nicholas McKercher is a Hawthorn man. I thought Fremantle were an absolute shoe-in. No, I don't think a whole lot of people saw. I don't think a whole lot of people saw that Fremantle loss coming. Scott Sattler's broken jaw was popular, more than popular, mate. It's an immortal moment in the game. It's one of the all-time tough moments, for sure, bro. Flash Tago, John Sattler was and will always be a Rabbitohs legend. And I'm going to give the last say to Flash Tago there. And that will be how I finish this stream. So, guys, I've had a really, really enjoyable time. Thank you so much for the interaction. This just gives me more confidence to bring you another episode next Monday night. So thank you very much for the continuous support. Get ready for the Ace High Tips show tomorrow afternoon, and then get ready for Wednesday night for when BKR Sport comes into my neck of the woods, and then we preview Cowboys versus Titans on Wednesday night. Thank you very much again for the continuous support. Rest in peace, John Sattler. Thoughts and condolences and prayers are with you, mate, and your family. Thank you all. Have a very nice evening. Thank you.